Hey everybody, it's Thursday, and I know I'm waiting for a couple of you to come on. Suzanne, I know you're going to show up, so I'm just going to talk here for a second. It's a beautiful Thursday. I've got my beautiful rainbow dragon friend here keeping me company, and Tiamat up there. And I also have a photo to share this weekend. I've got to get the pictures hung first though. I received a gift in the mail this week from one of my beautiful dragon hearts in Scotland. And she is doing some incredible dragon paintings. On a soul level, she can tune in and brings through an image. And you might consider contacting. Hi Suzanne, I've been waiting for you. Joanne Dunn, who is here in the group, is doing some beautiful canvases. And she can mail them out. And I got three. One's got this gorgeous rainbow sphere with a geometry across it. When I saw it, my guide said, you know, you gotta have her send it now. And a black and white dragon on either side. I can't wait to share the photo. But I need to hang them in the right place on the wall first because I'm supposed to sleep under these beauties. And I'm so grateful for that gift from Joanne Dunn. So thank you, Joanne. And so I'm here today on Thursday. We're doing our live weekly meetup. I love meeting up with you guys. I've had so many beautiful conversations this week with some applicants for the Dragon Heart program. So I am still trying to fill those 2 spots. Interviews are going on right now, but the doors are closing May 1st. So if you've been thinking about it or feeling it, please let me know so I can get you an application or more information. And I'm going to dive into our great question this week from Christopher Berg. And he asked yesterday, are the 12 dragons of Mu associated with the 12 zodiacs? And he had gone on to mention about, you know, it would make sense. There's 12 planets, 12 zodiacs, all this. Well, there was some confusion there, and he finally realized it without me pointing it out, that there are only 9 planets in our solar system. The 10th that I refer to in the book is Nibiru, which energetically is still present, but the planet itself is gone. And hello, Karen. I know I've got a few other people there. Can't see everybody, but I know there's at least 5 on the call, so I love that. There's Sue. Hello, hello. And it's a great question because it might have popped up for other people, and I thought that would be so much better as a live, so I can really go into discussing it. Because I could simply say, no, they're not. Be done. But there's so much energy around the concept of 12 in creation and manifestation, 12 around 1. And yes, there are 12 zodiacs. Yes, there are quite oftentimes 12 things in a ring. There's the 6 points of the Star of David energetic, but when you expand it out, the full, I believe it's the Tree of Life, or one of the I Am sphere symbols, actually has 12 points. And that is more connected to the dragons in the Council of Mu than anything I've come across, and it is actually one of the symbols we are working through with sacred geometry in the Dragon Heart program to help break that down and understand it. And so when I talk about the 12 dragons of Mu, they are actually very different than the constellations, although if I was to look closely at them, would I find associations with specific characteristics or qualities of each of the zodiacs? It's possible, and I haven't explored that, but I do know that, like, for me, feeling so deeply connected to the female water dragon who is on the council, that astrologically, everything I read about Libra is me to a T, because I have 5 planets in Libra. Is that because I'm on the council and that's what I aligned to have? Is it because I'm energetically aligned with the zodiac of Libra? That I don't know, but the 12 dragons of Mu, the council, is distinctly different than any of the zodiacs or the star systems that are up there. There might be energetic links, but they're not one and the same. They are not deeply linked, and that's because they have their own roles. They are their own beings. Hello, Christopher. We're diving into your question. So that said, the concept of creation, there's always 12 around 1 in my experience. And so in creating the planets, there were 12 dragons that were brought through that are the male and female pairings of the earth, the air, the fire, the water, the black and the white dragons holding the space. And when that first came through, because things come through in reverse order for the elements to actually come and be created, that the crystal dragon holding the core came in first, held space. Hi, Teresa. And allowed the black and the whites to come through. The black and the white dragons are typically merged beings, already male-female, as most of the higher dimensional dragons are. They're already in their male and female perfectly merged. So when they came through perfectly merged, then coming in, having that trine with the crystalline dragon, then they split as they called in and had the elementals come through, becoming the 12. So you've got the the 4 elementals, the black and the white, each of those having their male and female aspect makes the 12. And they're crucial and key, and they can't be the same as the zodiacs because they are physically holding the space in the planet. They are extremely large beings. They are wrapped, if I have maps, and I've referenced it before, the 1994 National Geographic map is one of the best representations I ever found, because it shows the ridges and the lines not only through the topographical layers of the crust on the continents, but under the earth, under the ocean. So you can see the ocean ridges and layers. And so when you look at it, and we're doing this in the Dragonheart class too, where you can actually see an outline where the dragons sit, and you can see their spine, their tail, their heads, their wings, and where they sit on the tectonic plates, and how that relates to what happens in those regions. For example, around the Ring of Fire, or around the earthquake zones, say up the spine of the Andes Mountains through Chile and Patagonia and Peru. And so when you look at the larger picture, these are gigantic beings. Let's say, would you say that these 12 dragons are what the Aboriginals refer to as the cosmic serpent, but merged? I would have to study more, to be honest, Christopher, about the cosmic serpent. If I just tune in, when I tune into what the Aboriginals consider the cosmic serpent, and this I'm just speaking from intuitive connection, without having read anything about it, or necessarily hearing that term before, I see the Aboriginals actually, because they're so deeply connected to the earth, that they're actually connecting all the way through the crystalline core out to what would be considered a cosmic serpent, and much greater energy out beyond the cosmos and the greater central sun, which is the energy of the dragon realms. So, thanks, Suzanne. So they have, the Aboriginals, interestingly, the female earth dragon sits through Australia. And so we've talked about this in both the book club and now in the Dragonheart program, that the 2 earth dragons, the male being up South America, the female being with her head and part of her heart in Australia, that interestingly in the world, those 2 cultures, perfect, goosebumps are my sign, Christopher. That's when I know truth is being spoken. So anyway, with the Aboriginals and all the Amazonian indigenous tribes, all the tribes in South America, to me, those are the 2 most connected places on the planet, really, to the earth energies, to living in harmony with it, to living with the song lines and the medicines and the plants, and being in harmony with nature, and that they can really show us culturally, like, how to be connected to the earth. Is it coincidence that they are right where the earth dragons sit in the tectonic plates? To me, no. But when I connected that cosmic serpent idea for the Aboriginals, it is definitely something that they're going through the earth. They're going through the earth dragon, through to the crystal core, and out to the connection to the greater central sun, to what I call Mother, Father, God. And I feel like they're so clear in their connection that they know the deep connection of the dragons to these matrices, to the creation of this planet. So they're calling it the cosmic serpent. But I would love to do more reading about it, actually, and learn more with my mental piece, just to solidify, validate, confirm whatever is coming through intuitively for me. Hi, Queen Tarma. Haven't seen you on before. Lovely to see you. anyway, so Christopher, I hope that answered your question. It was a really beautiful one that brought me in, especially of, oh, yeah, you know, he's not the only one wondering that, I bet you. And I love talking about the Council and the Dragons of Mu because more and more keeps revealing. You know, I have felt myself when I wrote the book and connected with Tana, the water dragon, that I feel I am embodied as human. That when I had that experience, I have felt very alone in the last 10 years, not only with the knowledge of all that the dragons hold and carry and want to bring through, and that's sharing the book, but that I wasn't really aware if any of the others, I didn't get the feeling that any of the others were actually incarnate on the planet, that they were space holding energetically. But very recently I have come across one other. And so that gives me real excitement. It gives me an indicator of, whoa, okay, if they start showing up, this is a very big, crucial time on the planet. That the agreements that I felt were in my heart from the Council, I thought I was the only one going to be asked, I was the only one asked to actually stay aware and be the first to awaken and call the energies forth. And that's shared in the book, I believe in the intro, but being the one to actually energetically call the Council back together to make a decision to move forward. And when that happened, it started triggering growth in people. And that's when, if there are others actually out there that will come across my path, it's because that energetic call went out and they started their spiritual journey, they started their awakening, they started their awareness of the dragons and what they bring and how they're connected to it. So I do feel like that's a big reason that the Dragon Heart program came about, because there's some big planetary aspects that are going to be happening with that. And Chris is saying, I don't know why I think so, but usually dragon incarnated have sharp cheekbones and distinct draconian features. I'd say it's fairly obvious you're a dragonkin. I haven't associated that, but I'll take it. I'm going to have to start paying attention to that too, because when I look, Christopher, when I see dragon in people, it's because I look directly in their eyes and I can see and feel it. And got to have a beautiful connection like that this morning with someone who's definitely a dragon heart and reached out to me. So I love when I can see that and feel it and connect to it. So I do have a lot of comments or remarks on my eyes. So feel free, in any of these videos, I will look straight at the camera so that you can actually look in my eyes and see and feel the dragon sense. And if that helps you recognize that in other people, beautiful thing. I am so happy to do that. And Christopher, I love your input. I love that you're here in the group, and I would love to, yeah, the Eyes of the Dead giveaways, right? It would be really fun to connect with you by video one day. And anyway, if there's any other questions out there, I do have a couple more minutes that I can spend here with you guys, because I love these Thursday meetups, and they always bring up, you know, unexpected and beautiful topics of conversation. And I love that this is where we can meet and talk about this stuff, because where else can you? Probably why we get goosebumps when you speak. Oh, Suzanne, thank you. I know I get goosebumps a lot when I'm speaking or when I'm connecting with people and they're sharing something with me and I go, whoa, zing, that's truth. I love those goosebumps, and they are telling. I feel like sometimes it's our angel guides or our dragons just sitting behind us, like breathing this fire down our back going, hey, you paying attention? And I do love too, the dragons have a great sense of humor, and they're always fun to connect with. Especially in the dragon readings. You know, I've been doing dragon readings for a couple months now, and it's so interesting to me how many varied... oh, thank you for reminding me. I'm going to talk about that. The book club. Yes, I have finalized it. I'm going to announce it. I'll just finish this thought about... and even I just lost that train of thought. Oh, about the funny dragons and doing dragon readings, and how... you know, there's 8 billion people on the planet. Not all of them are dragon. They do all have a womb or a heart dragon because of that connection through the DNA, through the crystal core of the planet that we all arrived through. in my belief and opinion and experience. But when I get to do a dragon reading, and even if they're not a dragon embodied and they have dragon guides working with them because they're open to it, there are some very interesting ones, and there's such a variety. Just like, 8 billion people, we all are fun in our own way and have these subtle nuances, and so do the dragons, and so many of them have this amazing sense of humor. And I remember one of the dragon readings back in December, doing one of these lives, and even one from the book club last session. His name was Fred, and he was a shapeshifter, and he was here to bring lightheartedness to this soul. And he loved bows, he loved hats, and he had this capacity, sort of like the genie in Aladdin, to every soul is a magical universe on its own. Absolutely, Christopher. Anyway, he had this capacity, like Aladdin, to become something else instantaneously. And so even though you could tell he was a dragon in disguise, he kept like taking these different shapes and different colors, and it made the reading really super fun. And every now and then I get that. And then I've got the gamut of the really big ones that are like black holes, and those that are really dense, dark cloaked sorcerer energy, and those that are really soft rainbow and heart energy, and there for heart openings. And I just love the variety. I'm all about diversity in life and change and shift. And so I obviously designed a life that I would thrive on because it's so different every day. And I love that. So thank you, Suzanne. Let's talk about the book club. We'll mention briefly Dragonheart, the Way of the Dragonheart program, the 9-month journey. Doors are closing May 1st. And it does take a process of an application, an interview, and usually a 4 to 7 days sit with the information to really decide you're going to jump in. So if you've been thinking about it, please message or email me to get the information and the applications. Hi, Athene, good to see you. And I'm going to read that one comment. 2 spirited beings in the Toltec called, yes, Naguals, shapeshifters, Naguals. Yes, and that, Christopher, I will just mention, a lot of the dragons that I've come across, the embodiers, the dragon hearts, have that capacity. It's like being so ancient and so aware of all DNA, of all genetics, of magic. And there are 12 people watching. Thanks, Athene, for stepping on to be number 12. Let's create something incredible right now, like a book club. So I promised last round that this one would be in a time zone setting for those in Europe and the UK to make it possible in the evening for them. So it runs a 6-week format. Every week for 2 hours we meet and discuss, have great conversations, go over questions through the book. Sometimes we don't even talk about the book, but we do have incredible meditations every time. So it's every week starting May 10th on Thursdays to June 14th. May 10th to June 14th. It's going to be 11:30 in the morning to 1:30 just after lunch, my time. So I'm giving up my lunch hour for you guys. And that's going to make it 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. in the UK and 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. in Europe for all you English-speaking Europeans who have been waiting anxiously to get into the book club. So I will post probably tomorrow links to get registered and sign up for that. If you are a definite yes, you know you're in, you can actually email, message, or comment underneath this video, and I will put you at the top of the list to hold your space. You still have to always get it paid for in order to actually really confirm it, but I will put those on the top of the list. So yes, we're going to go forward with the book club. I hope it's at a time zone that works for you. It should, with it being around my lunchtime, and I'm the furthest west, unless there's some Australians in. The Australians will really have to wait and do a different thing because their time zone is so radically different. But yeah, it's making it in the late afternoon, early evening for the East Coast of the United States. Absolutely, Christopher. Send me an email or message, then I will send you the information directly when the registration stuff is ready. So we do meet through Zoom on that. They do get recorded so that if you have to come on late, leave early, miss a class, you don't miss out. It's all recorded. And then you can listen to the replays of the meditations as many times as you need to. So we are still with 12 on. I so love that. Thank you guys. Thank you, Christopher, for the question and all your interactions today. And I will see you next week. So post some more great questions. I really, really love this group. I'm so grateful for it and grateful that you guys are opening to your dragons, opening to the information, and let's get out there and share it. Let's get over 500 in our dragon family this week. We're at like, what, 470 members already? I love that, and I know that we can go bigger and just keep waking them up. So you guys have a great afternoon. I love you, and I'll see you next week, and I will post the information by tomorrow about the book club as far as registering. Bye.